Hey guys, this is Mark from parkflyers.com. Today we are looking at two of the most important cars for this year based on sales alone. These are my top selling cars, and for good reason. Arrma really took the time in developing these cars, and they put a lot of effort into making them drive good. They put a lot of effort into making them really durable, and they have a lot of appeal. Now they come in two different types. You have the monster truck. This is a short wheelbase, $129.99, the Granite Grom. And then just released now, you have the Typhon Grom, $139.99, $10 more. Now, these are, like I said, these are extremely popular because of the price and performance ratio. You're not really going to find a better deal if you want to get into RC. This is it. And the customer sales basically does a lot of talking. You have a lot of interest in this product. There's not a day that goes by that I don't either sell one of these or a part for one of these. There are a lot of upgrades being released for these cars to make them just a little bit better. A lot of people have been converting them to brushless. That's up to you if you want to do that. Now, we've been in development of some upgrades ourselves. Went overseas and I actually made a couple of pieces that I thought would make the car better. The differential outdrive cups stock, for instance, are made of a plastic, and they have these little ears on them, and they break off easily into the differential. So I developed ones made out of steel, and they're kind of unbreakable. Now, Arrma sells their own differential where you buy the whole thing for 40 bucks. You buy two of them, but my option is much cheaper, and it's just as effective. So we'll be putting a link to that product below. If you're interested, you can buy it from the website. A lot of people are happy with it, and we've had no complaints. So let's talk about what the difference are between these two cars. A lot of people are going to want to know. Now, there are a few, and let's go over them now. So the Granite Grom is basically a short wheelbase truck. You see it's a short wheelbase, really nice. Now, one of the complaints I had was that the suspension was a little bouncy, and it handled more like a toy. We made some videos showing you how to make it handle a little better. But I found out the reason just from seeing what they did with the Typhon. The reason that this car was a little bouncy and it handled like a toy was the weight of oil in the shocks. So for this particular car, if you see the way you push on the front and it has a quick rebound, that's more like a toy. That's not going to handle like an RC car. If you look at the Typhon, slow rebound, slow compression. What do? Very simple. They just put 80 weight oil in both front and rear shocks. And I'm sure that would be a really nice upgrade to do to the Granite Grom. The Typhon did that, and that's one of the nice things that they did with this car. The other thing is the removable cover. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here and tell you, out of any clipless body design for any size car, it doesn't matter what it is, this is going to be my favorite. It is the best clipless design. It is the easiest thing to take off and on. You have a lever in front here. All you do is push it forward, and then you just lift it up. I'm doing this one hand while holding the camera, and you just pull it out. This locks back into the rear shock tower, and this is just, like I said, it's a little release with like this lever. That is the easiest and best clipless design. All other manufacturers should take note of this. This is my favorite. The other thing that you get with the Typhon over the Granite is because of the longer chassis, you're going to get a fan here. Now, the cooling fan is obviously meant to cool the motor, and I will tell you that is definitely going to make the motor last longer. One of the problems with brush motors is they heat up, and the more heat they sustain, obviously the less long they're going to last. So the motor cooling fan is definitely a great option here. You cannot upgrade the Granite with that just because the chassis is too short. Now let's talk about the chassis. This is a whole new chassis design. It's much longer by I think about 2 inches over the Granite. And when you're driving it, it has a much more mature feel. It's definitely more stable, and it's definitely going to appeal to a lot more people because it drives more like a 10 scale. Now the Granite Grom is something that has been very popular. There is a market for this, and the people that like this car obviously are people that are into monster trucks, short wheelbase. This is more darty. If you do little mini jumps with this, you can do much easier to flip this and have it rotate 360, where this is not going to do it as well. So there is definitely a market for this, and you know, there's definitely a lot of appeal to the Granite Grom. But this, the appeal for this is going to be that it just drives more like an RC car, and I think this would be a better candidate for a brushless motor upgrade, in all honesty. And I really like this car a lot. Now, another benefit of this car, it does have a rear wing, so at speeds it's going to keep the rear down. Overall, this car ends up feeling more planted, and it's just a little bit more satisfying if you're, you know, somebody who has bigger cars and you want something small maybe to take with you on a vacation. I think you'll get a little bit more satisfaction out of this car than the Granite if you're looking for, you know, some RC fun. Now, jumping wise, this car is very balanced, very neutral in the jumps. It doesn't really show any poor tendencies as it's jumping. I really liked it a lot. Actually, it also has less chassis slap because of the higher weight oil in the shocks. I really wish they released the Granite with that weight oil. You can easily upgrade, put 80 weight in this. And if you think 80 weight is going to be too much because it's a shorter chassis, you might want to try 60. I'm going to experiment with it. I'm going to probably try 80 in this and go from there. But like I said, 80 weight oil is the appropriate oil for these shocks and spring combos. It just works. It may not make sense because it's such a tiny car, but it's just based on the way the shock works. It's the piston, the tension of the spring, and the size of the shock, the volume oil in there. 80 weight just works. And you see, it's just so much more progressive. And it's just more like a real RC car, where this is just bouncy. You know, it's just not really up to, it's not going to feel like a real RC car until you change the weight of the oil in the shocks. But the good news is that oil is cheap. We have it on our website. 80 weight Traxxas oil would be perfect in that. And like I said, this is, they do this from the factory on this one. As far as the wheels and tires go, these are, they're basically, there is no foams inside these. They do that obviously for lightweight. It is a small car. So if they put foams in here, it would add rotational mass. It would also stress the car out. You'd probably get less run times and the motor would heat up. So it was a good move not to put foam in tires. They didn't put the foam in the Granite either. So that was actually a smart move. But the tires themselves are a good all-around hybrid tire. Really, really nice. You can put these on the Granite if you want to change up the way this drives, and you want to, you know, change the characteristic of this car. You can take the Typhon tires and put it on the Granite. As I mentioned before, we did release some of our own differential cups for this car. We also made our own aluminum anodized parts for the car. They are super, super light. They have chamfered edges. They're ultra lightened. I'm very into weight, and I would never, you know, make parts that were too heavy. But these are parts that are going to make the car a lot more durable, especially if you're going to put a brushless motor in this. We have red anodized aluminum parts, and they look fantastic on this car. We're gonna actually do a full review with that upgrade in the coming weeks. And we can't wait to test it out and show everybody how good it looks. Anyway, please subscribe to our channel, comments below, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.